Hey everybody, welcome to Married with Wrestling. I'm Susan.
I'm Chris.
And we are here to talk about wrestling.
Yeah, just wrestling subjects. Not necessarily a recap. We'll reference events that happened this week, especially in our first topic. But mainly we're just picking some subjects that we want to talk about and kind of break down. There's enough recap shows online. So we're trying to do something a little bit different. So I think the thing we need to start with is the biggest story in wrestling right now. John Cena has now spoken since he turned heel on Cody Rhodes. And if anybody was questioning if it was a heel turn, John answered that pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
So what were your initial thoughts on John Cena's heel promo? I noticed that when he was cutting his promo, when you started paying attention was when he used the term abusive relationship.
Yeah. Because I was like, that's kind of ballsy.
In terms of wrestling, I mean, the fan responses he's gotten over the years, I think his word choice fits in a wrestling context.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of that has to do with Vince McMahon, but that's neither here nor there. But I really liked how he's really... You can tell, since he got to Hollywood, his acting is much better. Like, he sold it a lot more, like, with his facial expressions and how angry he was and his inflections. It was a great promo. Commentary didn't say anything throughout the entire promo. It was just John going at it. And I love the idea that John Cena, like, essentially poured out his heart in an angry way. And when he was done, Cody Rhodes came out. And Cody Rhodes just looked at him and he said, I was excited to face John Cena, not this whiny bitch.
Yeah.
So it's like John put all this out there and Cody's just like, dude, shut the hell up. Like...
Yeah, but... if the shoe was on the other foot, Cody would be just as talkative, if not more, than John Cena. And just as whiny, if not more.
Probably, but that's not the story that we're telling. Do you see this John Cena heel turn lasting the remainder of the year? Like, until the very end of his career in December?
I thought so, yeah, but now I don't know.
I kind of think it will. I'm still 50-50 on whether or not he's even going to win the title. Like, I'm really not sure. Like, it's a coin flip for me at this point.
I don't think he will.
You don't think he'll take it from Cody?
I don't want him to. I don't... He's retired. I don't want him to.
You wouldn't want him to, even if it was to hold the belt for this year and then drop it at the end of the year?
No.
Really?
He's old and retiring in wrestling world. He doesn't need it.
Even if it's for that 17th title to break the tie with Ric Flair?
I don't care about Ric Flair's title ring. I don't want John Cena to win again.
Okay. I think John Cena winning is...
He probably will win. I just don't want him to.
I think him winning is the more interesting direction to go the rest of the year.
I don't know why I'm so adamant that I just don't want him to win. I don't like when older talent wins things. And I get it's the story. I get it. Mm-hmm. But he's also the heel. So why does he have to get it if he's the heel?
I mean...
Why can't the heel be foiled?
I mean, I see your point on the older talent, but I think John Cena is actually only like 5 years older than Cody.
How old is John Cena?
I think John Cena's like 44.
That's it?
Yeah, he's younger than Punk.
Hey, Siri.
We're doing a live fact check right now.
How old is John Cena?
John Cena.
He's 47.
He's 47?
He's almost 50.
Punk's 46.
Well, I don't like Punk anyway, so that's not a good point to point out to
Cody's 39.
I'm not the biggest fan of Cody. Cody is literally... He's almost 10 years younger than John Cena. How is that even a point?
What about AJ Styles?
AJ Styles he's on his way to retire soon. I'm fine with that.
It's looking like it's going to be Styles and Logan Paul at WrestleMania.
Logan Paul can go away too. I don't care. I don't care where he goes. I don't give a shit where he goes, but he can go somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know. Hell, for all I care.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Cena winning the title would be interesting. I'd be interested to see who his challengers are if he did win it. I could see him dancing with Roman again. Let's see, maybe a feud with LA Knight. That could be fun. John Cena and LA Knight spitting at each other on the mic. I think that would be a good time. I feel like SmackDown doesn't have that many baby faces. He could tear it up with Braun Strowman. Outside of that, maybe Damian Priest isn't that appetizing of a matchup. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Damian Priest.
I would rather see Damian Priest than Braun Strowman. I don't like Braun Strowman at all.
Okay.
So I would much rather see Damian Priest fight with him.
Yeah.
I don't like Braun Strowman because I'm a fat chick myself. I'm a big girl, so I can do what Braun Strowman does. I can flip things over too.
Braun Strowman's like...
I can run at people too and just charge at them.
Braun Strowman's like 6'10".
And I'm 5'8" and fat. Come at me. I can do that.
Is that really?
That's not just my kind of wrestling. To me, and I know there's a lot of fans of his out there, but it's like, to me, I could do that. And I know in reality I couldn't. Mm-hmm. But in my head, I can do this. He just throws things, flips things over. He throws chairs. He runs at people and knocks them over. Like, okay.
Yeah, but if you look at... This is from a perspective of somebody's been watching wrestling a little bit longer. When you look at the previous big men that they've had like that, Khali, Big Show, Kane, none of them move like Strowman does.
And I'm not the biggest fan of any of them. That's not my kind of wrestling.
With me growing up, seeing somebody like Braun Strowman would have been incredible. Because big men don't move like that.
Yeah, whenever you're 10 years old, that does sound exciting. That does look cool. Whenever you're 36...
I also think John Cena is the more interesting option because I know after WrestleMania, if Cody wins, where Cody's going. Cody's going back to the Samoans. Cody is entwined with them, I feel like, forever at this point. Which is a shame because there's a lot
I know, I don't want
more
to keep
you can
saying
do.
the same things, or seeing the same things over and over again. I guess in theory, if I do keep seeing the same things over and over again, I will keep saying the same things over and over again as well.
Yeah, it kind of fills itself out at that point. But yeah, I think John Cena winning. I know you don't want John Cena to win for your reasons, but to me, John Cena winning, I think, is going to lead to the more interesting events.
I understand that. I'm not saying that I don't agree with that. I'm just saying, me personally. I don't care if he gets his 17th title. I don't give a crap. Like, the title reigns to me, honestly, don't mean as much because of people like Charlotte Flair and Roman Reigns. So, like,
well, Roman Reigns is more of a days issue, but I think it still applies.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, because of how they've handled those two, I don't take the title thing seriously anymore because. Charlotte Flair's just getting it handed to her, I feel like, because she has it for a day and then she loses it just to get her numbers up. So, like, that, it's kind of like, it doesn't make that as wow to me because of that.
What about Gunther's Intercontinental title reign?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I didn't say him. I said people like Charlotte
I know,
Flair
but I'm citing Gunther as an example of doing it correctly.
Yes. I'm not saying everybody's wrong. I'm just saying they have weakened it a little bit because of how they handle some people, to me. Like how how long people's had it. It's kind of weakened to me because you can't tout how long somebody's held a title, aka Roman Reigns, when he's only wrestled like 3 times out of that 12-year span. So like they've ruined that for me because you can't tout something whenever it's somebody like me who I think in facts and I want to know, like, you know me, I like to know the stories, I like reasons, and whenever I find out the reasons or I feel like a reason, I'm like, okay, this isn't as big of a deal to me then. You've kind of ruined that for me because you obviously don't think it's a big deal.
Okay. So you're saying that their actions are telling you that it's not a big deal, even though they're trying to tell you that it is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're going back to the old adage, actions speak louder than words.
Yes, I guess so.
Okay.
It's kind of like whenever WWE totes about how great they're doing for the women's division, and I'm like, but you put those restrictions in place yourself. So, like, you can't tout how great you're doing whenever you're the reason that those restrictions were there in the first place. So, like, That's not taught about how you're breaking the glass ceiling.
When you built the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
I've heard that argument before.
Yeah. There's just little stuff like that with WWE that grinds my gears.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just because how I perceive things. Wouldn't you agree?
Probably,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. I'm very much consequences, action girl, like, and they aren't giving me those. So it's like, I can't.
So, if John Cena doesn't win the title at Mania, what do you see him doing for the rest of the year? Until he retires?
Being angry and moping and just attacking people.
Okay, so just facing off with different baby faces just without a title.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't need a title, in my opinion.
Okay.
He's John Cena. Why does he need a title? Cody Rhodes, I think, needs it more than him. Mm-hmm. Because he literally fought 1,200 years to finish his GD story. So, like, let's not take that belt off him forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when Cody drops it, it's not an if, he will eventually drop the title.
Well, yeah, but...
I see it being somebody of Samoan descent.
Yeah.
And that would be a shame. I feel like
Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be upset if he got it out of the Samoan.
I wouldn't be either.
But I really just want him to get it so I can see I just so I can see him doing that all the time.
Yeah, I think Jacob Fatu. I think he's got world champion in him.
Yeah,
I think he does. I don't know if it's the gold belt, maybe it's the world heavyweight title, but he's definitely got world title written all over him.
Yeah.
And that kind of segues perfectly. So for our next little topic, I've got 5 NXT men listed here and 5 NXT women.
I'm terrible at predicting things.
No, you don't have to predict their storyline. Just tell me what you think their ceiling would be on the main roster. So, we'll start with the guys. What do you think will be Trick Williams' contribution to the main roster? I see him as a world title contender, but probably not any higher than a U.S. champion.
No. I think that if you book him right, he could be better. He could be bigger and better than Carmelo.
You think he could surpass Carmelo Hayes?
Yes.
At this point, I would agree because it feels like Carmelo is kind of just treading water right now. Like, they don't really know what they want to do with him.
They have him in with the big wigs, but, like, I feel like Trick Williams could actually do things.
Yeah. See, I think the double-edged sword of the SmackDown title is, and it started with Roman Reigns. It feels like there's very, very, very few people they're going to give that title to. Cody Rhodes, a Samoan, maybe John Cena. I don't see Orton touching it. I don't see Owens getting on it again. It feels like a title that is designated for like 4 people.
It kind of weakens it, right?
It kind of just makes it...
Not as important. Doesn't feel like it really matters as much because you know it's going to go to the same people. Like, it's
kind of like when Lesnar had it. Like, the fun idea is building somebody up to be a big enough challenger to do it. That's why, you and I talked about this feud last. That's why LA Knight's feud with Roman was so fun. Because LA Knight just came out of nowhere, got hot, and they were like, yeah, we'll put him in there. And he was a different face than we'd seen.
Yeah.
He wasn't John Cena. He wasn't, I don't even remember who Roman was feuding with at that point. Jey Uso. It was a fresh face that brought something fresh to it. Yeah. And I feel like Cody needs people like that to spice up his reign. I feel like his reign was... He had a good feud with Owens. He had a good feud with Styles. The rest of it was surrounded by either Samoans or John Cena.
Yeah.
And I think we could have done better. I would like to have seen Cody be the first workhorse world champion in a while. And I think Cody could do it, and I think Cody would want to do it.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought we were going there whenever Carmelo fought him the first night that Carmelo got drafted. And Carmelo had that match with him. Mm-hmm. I think that would be an interesting thing to do with Cody's reign. And if Cena doesn't win at Mania, I would love to see Cody do something like that. And having Trick Williams as a challenger would be fantastic.
Yeah.
That would be really great. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Plus, you could build a little jealousy and have a story for Melo and Williams on the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about Tony D'Angelo?
I don't see him being anything above a mid-carder.
Yeah. I don't either.
If he even lasts on the main roster. I could see him not lasting. I could see him maybe not connecting with the main roster audience that well. Unless he changes his gimmick.
His gimmick does feel very old school.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a gimmick that you would see, like, back in the days of when everybody was a character.
Yeah, like NXT, it works because they have more, like, characters in NXT,
yeah.
I feel like.
That's why Chase U worked.
But on the main roster, I don't think that would really fly.
Yeah. You don't think he'd be taken seriously?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that on the main roster, you have some of the older fans that aren't as willing to accept things that are different. In probably a lot of aspects of life, so, like, they're probably not going to accept. I think that's why Pretty Deadly isn't getting over like they did in NXT, because they're different and they look more flamboyant. And
I think Pretty Deadly has the ability to. We just need to commit a push to them. I think if they would commit to their push, they could do it.
People aren't really even getting behind them at all, and I think it's their looks. I don't think the main roster, because people used to get offended by the New Day, for Christ's sake. So, like, I think the main roster is more old school and or older, I think, in some regard, and they're not as open to things.
Okay. I would agree with you. I see him at U.S. champ, Intercontinental champ level.
Yeah.
I don't see him challenging for a world title, but I could also see him being somebody that they rely on to put on good matches.
Maybe, but I could also see him getting cut within like a couple years.
Okay. All Ego Ethan Page.
I would love for him to be like Cody Rhodes level, but I know he would never get that. I think he's a good enough person that he deserves that. I think that he deserves everything that Cody Rhodes is getting because he's that good of a person, in my opinion. But if I'm being realistic, I think he would be a mid-carder.
I could see
him being like a Chad Gable. If you combine like Chad Gable and R-Truth, I think he could be a nice, like, comedy but serious wrestler. And I think he could get fans behind him pretty quickly because he's so good on the microphone.
I see him kind of at a level of The Miz.
Is Miz like a mid-carder?
Yeah,
okay.
but I'm going to elaborate.
Okay.
I could see him going on long title reigns with mid-card titles and sniffing at the world title and challenging, but maybe not quite capturing it unless he captured it for like a couple weeks as like a transitional champion.
Yeah.
Which would still be really exciting for him to be a world champion.
Yeah.
I think definitely NXT showed they have a lot of faith in him.
Yeah.
I do feel like he's coming to the main roster after Stand and Deliver. I think he's done everything in NXT he can. I like that they've explored the more vicious side. I think...
Yeah, because I feel like I have seen... I don't know why, because I feel like I've seen him wrestle a lot in AEW, and typically AEW puts in the better matches, but I feel like Ethan Page has looked better in the ring at WWE.
Well, the big thing I saw about Ethan Page when he was in AEW, the main criticisms I saw were his mic skills are fine. If he could just shore up his wrestling and make it more solid, he would be complete. And I think NXT's helped him do that.
Yeah.
Because he's definitely a crisper wrestler than he was in AEW.
Yeah. But he has that Performance Center.
He does.
Is amazing,
the Performance Center is the MVP of WWE.
Yeah.
It's the best thing they ever built.
Yes.
And
who's next on your list?
That thing will feed families forever. Are you looking ahead?
Yeah, I was looking to see who's next.
Obafemi.
That's a difficult one because I'm not really a fan of Obafemi, so I don't really care.
I think Oba will be World Heavyweight Champion. I don't know that he'll be WWE Champion, but I think he'll hold the title that Gunther has.
Maybe. I'm just not a big fan of Obafemi. He's kind of boring to me.
But he's that bigger style wrestler.
But he moves around more. I don't know. There's just... I don't know what it is. Like... But I'm not going to say anything rude about him because... I don't know. He's not my style. So
he's not your cup of tea.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I think he'll hold the World Heavyweight Championship at least once.
Yeah.
The last man for NXT is Ricky Saints.
Are we even able to really judge this? Because he's only had like 1 or 2 matches in NXT. So how are we supposed to know the trajectory for him?
Oh, look at how he's being presented. They already clearly see him as a big deal.
I guess like an Ethan Page, I guess. I don't see him getting higher than that. Like
I could see him being a really solid U.S. or Intercontinental champion.
Yeah.
I think he would contend for a world title. I don't know that he'd ever win one.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but something that I see Ricky Saints doing really well is holding the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I could just see him doing that really well. I think it's because he's a good talker, and the Money in the Bank briefcase holder has to kind of be a good talker to talk themselves up. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a valuable skill with Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
I can see Ethan Page being a Money in the Bank winner too, and being completely up-nosed about it.
Yeah.
Hey, on the women's side, Julia.
I don't know. It's hard for the women because they only focus on the same people.
Mm-hmm. I truly think I have 5 women listed here for NXT, and I think I have 5 future world champions listed here. Because I've got Julia, Roxanne Perez, Stephanie Vaquer, Jordan Grace, and Jada Parker. I think all of them will hold the women's title at some point.
But they just always showcase the same women on the main roster. Mm-hmm. It's like they get somebody from NXT and they either showcase them every week or you never see them. Mm-hmm. And then we don't really get a variety with women on the main roster. They've
got those mid-card I will say, I think they've done excellent with Chelsea Green in the U.S. women's title.
Yeah.
That is being done very, very well. She's fought Michin like 8 times, but she's a heavily featured character. Yeah. Lyra, I forget half the time, even has it.
She's a champ?
She's the Women's Intercontinental Champion. She's the first one she's never lost to.
Oh my god, I forgot she was even a champ.
She keeps fighting Dakota Kai.
I forgot she was on the main roster.
Mm-hmm. And there's part of the problem for you.
Yeah.
But you and I both said that Lyra is not the most interesting person in the world.
I think they could have definitely gone with somebody else other than Lyra.
I think Lyra needs something to spice up her character.
I don't mean to disrespect. It's not that I dislike Lyra. Mm-hmm. I don't even think she should have been called up yet. Mm-hmm. I think they should have worked on her personality more with her before they brought her up. Like, I get it. She's
the wrestling's
a crow.
there.
What? She's a crow or something?
A raven.
Okay, I get it. You're a raven, but like you don't do anything. Mm-hmm. You just. Did she do that? I don't even know.
Something like that. Yeah. But no, I agree with you because they've done that with people in NXT. They did that with Braun Breaker. They did it with Eddie Thorpe.
Yeah.
They've done it with Fallon Henley.
They did it with Roxanne whenever she turned heel.
Yeah.
Like, that gave her more of this personality. Like, oh, golly gee, I'm here. Like, because that is...
They're kind of turning Trick back.
Yeah, because I'm not the biggest fan of the people that are like, oh my god, I'm here, everybody, I love everybody. Like, that's what gets under my skin with Cody Rhodes. It's like, good god, dude, you are not that happy about everybody all the time. And it's like the same... I think that's why I don't like faces as much as heels.
Well, I mean, it's just like when you watch a movie, 99 times out of 100, your villain's more interesting than your hero. Because your hero has one motivation. What you're doing is wrong, and I need to stop you. Whereas a villain can have any number of motivations. You know, that's...
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I really don't like the faces that are like... the super innocent and dumb faces.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't like those faces. They really are stupid to me.
So you like faces more like... Would LA Knight be a face that you like? Because he's not, like, happy to be here.
I like ones that give you sass back. Like, just because you're a face doesn't mean you gotta be dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Cody isn't dumb with the face. I just don't love Cody like you do. But there's always been something, even at AEW, there's always been something about him I just didn't like, and I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
I don't know, honestly.
I don't know. But, yeah, I think all these women could be world champion if they're featured. I think Roxanne will be heavily featured because she's already kind of got a push and she's not even in the main roster yet.
You put Jordan Grace on there.
I could see...
I kind of worry about Jordan Grace on the main roster because... I don't know. Because I could see her, out of everybody on that list, getting forgotten about.
I see Jordynne Grace fighting Bianca Belair for a title at a WrestleMania.
Oh, so we have completely different views then. I think that she could get lost in the shuffle on the main roster.
Really?
But I don't know much about her. She could be this kick-ass woman, because I've only seen her in NXT, so I don't really know much about her, so it's not really a fair assessment on my end.
Yeah.
So...
I think Tiffany Stratton's push gives me hope for these women.
Well, it would give me hope if Charlotte Flair wasn't involved. Once we're done with Charlotte Flair and we see what we do, then it'll give me hope. If they give it to Charlotte Flair, which I'm pretty sure they are going to, I'm going to be like, okay, you obviously don't respect the younger talent coming up. You still respect that older women's talent. So, depending on how they handle that, it's probably going to depend on how much faith I have on these newer talent coming up.
I think the Tiffany Stratton Charlotte Flair match could be a potential look into for the future of the women's division. I do agree with you on that.
If Charlotte Flair wins, they don't respect the younger talent, and they're only doing this just to get her number up.
I agree about the getting the number up, for sure. I think Tiffy needs this more. And Tiffy's getting over.
Charlotte does not need a title. She doesn't. I think Charlotte Flair's an excellent wrestler. She was not missed, though.
Yeah.
She wasn't needed. She wasn't missed. There's no reason that she has to be forced down our throats yet again for a title match whenever she wasn't even missed, in my opinion. And I think she is a good wrestler. I've said that. I think she's the best wrestler out of the 4 horsewomen. I've always said that.
Yeah.
But it's just, she doesn't need this. Like, I forgot about her when she was gone, and that's not a good thing. I don't forget about Becky Lynch. I don't forget about her. But I forgot about Charlotte Flair. Like, I don't think she's needed anymore. So I don't think we need to shove her down our throats with all the talent, with all the title matches.
Yeah.
And I think we have the younger talent that we should showcase more. And I'm not saying Charlotte Flair has to go away, but just don't come around as much.
Or find a feud that doesn't involve the title.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
Yeah, okay. What about Jada Parker?
She's your girl. I don't. I mean, yeah, she cracks me up. Like, she's really intense and stuff, but, like, I'm not, like, in love with her like you are.
I think she will be. I think she'll be NXT Women's Champ within a year.
Yeah.
She's got a shot at Stephanie Tuesday. I don't think she's going to win this one. But I do think they're going to put the North American title back on Fallon Henley, which is probably the right thing to do. I don't necessarily know that Fallon Henley should have lost it yet in the first place, and I thought she should have been the first one anyway.
I would have gone with Sol Ruca, but...
Yeah. I don't know quite what we're doing with Sol Ruca. We're doing something with Zarya.
Zarya.
But they haven't talked about, like, giving them a tag title shot. I haven't seen the Meta Girls in a couple weeks.
Well, on NXT, though, you're not showcased every week, so they make room for stories.
Yeah.
Like, the Fallon Henley thing wasn't followed up on for a month.
Yeah.
Or JC Jane thing. JC Jane.
Yeah.
So, you don't see them every week because they make room for other stories.
That's true.
I like how NXT does it. I know some people are like, people have to be showcased every week. But I kind of like how NXT kind of rotates out stories so that there's more stories, and it's not like, I don't know. I like how NXT does it, and I don't care if we don't see somebody every week, because then I'm getting stories. Yeah. Unlike AEW.
So speaking of AEW is trying to build 2 pay-per-views at the same time.
They are? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they're building for Dynasty.
And All In.
All In's not till July. It's currently March. And we're already teasing Will Ospreay challenging for a title.
But I'd rather them do that than wait till the last second and just pile a whole bunch of shit on us.
Yeah.
Well, they're still going to pile a whole bunch of shit on us. I cannot...
AEW, with the length of your pay-per-views, you need to stick to Saturdays, bro.
I can't do it. I never make it through them. I fall asleep. I have to work. And I just want to watch your effing wrestling, but you can't do it on a night that's better for the working people.
AEW needs to take one of two approaches. One,
shorten the damn thing.
Saturdays, or two, move it back an hour to 7.
Or shorten them. I don't need 900 freaking matches in one pay-per-view.
I think they would be able to shorten them more if they would get them on Max. Like right now, I think they put so much on there because they want people to justify spending $50.
Listen, if I would feel much better if I would stay awake during it and I wasn't complaining about the length the whole time, about how many matches there were, that would make me appreciate it more. If you give me, even if you give me 5 matches, that'd be $10 a match. Okay. Okay, I'm fine with that.
I don't know that I could justify spending $50 on 5 matches.
I would. If they were good matches, I'm not even finishing it, Chris. We're wasting the money on me because I'm not even making it through the damn things. So, like, I would much rather be awake and it be like 5 or 6 matches instead of, 5? It lasts half a work day.
Yeah, and I think also it was that format was more prevalent when they were only doing 4 or 5 pay-per-views a year. Now they do them monthly.
Yeah.
And I can't
do it. I cannot keep up. You don't have the stories, so I'm not as engaged. You do have some stories. I will say that. But, like...
And then I think another issue that AEW has is they tease something that could be interesting, and then they shoot it down the next week.
Yeah.
Like MJF and the Hurt Business, for example. That pair-up was interesting, and then MJF just shot... Well, he said he's giving his answer next week, but it's heavily implying he's not going to do it. I think that would be interesting. We've seen MJF with muscle before, but we've never seen MJF in a power struggle like he'd be with MVP.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I keep saying Hurt Business, Hurt Syndicate. There's a Hurt Syndicate now. I think the Hurt Syndicate...
They hurt people.
The Hurt Syndicate's getting over pretty well.
They hurt people, Lex.
They do. It's so fun to check. They hurt people. I do really like the Hurt Syndicate. I think...
It's funny. I did not give a crap about Bobby Lashley whenever he was in WWE. Remember, I was like, he's so boring. He has no eyebrows. Remember, that was always my gripe. But I like them now. I like the Hurt Syndicate. I didn't like MVP. Remember, I thought he was so annoying. I was like, why is he here? He is so annoying. I did not like him. I really didn't have any opinion on
Shelton
Benjamin. I didn't dislike him. I never really got upset when he was around because we never saw him. So whatever. Yeah. So I like all 3 of them now. I'm happy that Shelton Benjamin is getting more respect in AEW because like he's had people like Swerve come up to him and like thank him for making the progress he did.
Yeah.
In the wrestling, in wrestling, and he didn't get that in WWE. I didn't realize that he had that much of an impact on wrestling in WWE. That's like the same thing with Bryan Danielson. I don't really realize these things in WWE until they leave, and then I'm like, oh wow, like
because WWE points very few fingers at individual wrestlers to show accomplishments. They're more of our company accomplished this.
Yeah.
No, I would agree. I think there's few exceptions. They do it with Rock. They do it with Hogan. They do it with Cena. But they do it with Roman.
Hogan, like Hulk Hogan?
Yeah. But, like, most of the time, it's we as a company did this.
I don't really know if they're going to be touting Hulk Hogan as much anymore because he got booed.
He's on every Netflix ad for his damn beer.
Which is so stupid. Like, I would never drink a beer from that racist asshole.
Okay.
I'm just going to put it out there.
I wouldn't either.
I mean, maybe if I looked like his daughter, though, he would appreciate me.
Oh, well, let's move on from that.
Just saying.
Spicy Susan in the house.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with you. AEW does have stories brewing, but there's nothing that, like... It's never enough that you want to stay up late to watch. Like,
no, I fall asleep.
No. I see what you're saying there.
It's like even on Dynamite. Like, I don't care that Ospreay and AR Fox are fighting. Yes, they're both great wrestlers, but why?
I still don't understand why Copeland and Moxley didn't main event. I don't understand.
Were you doing that because you got crapped on because you weren't? People said that you weren't like enough of the women's division. But even if that's the case, Tony Khan, you can't just put a women's match in the main event and be like, see, I appreciate women's wrestling. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make sense.
I mean, granted, it was a good match.
But it doesn't make sense for the main event whenever you had the Cope and John Moxley.
No, Cope and John Moxley felt like a main event match.
Yeah.
And it was brutal. The freaking nails in Moxley's back. Good lord.
I couldn't watch it after that. I couldn't even look at his back. That was just...
Which is crazy, because that's really the only major pain spot in that match. It was a pretty tame match.
He had holes in his back.
I know he did.
And they kept showing it on camera.
Yeah, I know he did. But for me, I feel like we need to spice this up a little bit. It's the same thing. Moxley looks beat. Death Riders come in. We've been doing this forever. We did it with Roman and the Bloodline, too, and I complained about it then, too. I think...
And Judgment Day, you complained.
Yeah. This is... I know it's the classic heel shtick, but it's so goddamn predictable that it's going to happen. There was a little bit of intrigue when Cope took out the Death Riders leading up to their match. That added something, because it was they're going to be unavailable. How's this going to pan out? And then Christian blew it, which was a different finish. That's more what I'm looking for. That was something different. Moxley got to retain, but it was done in a different way. And then we get to the main event of Dynamite, and we're back to the same shit.
It wasn't the main event of Dynamite.
Well, we're back to that match on Dynamite, going again. And it's the same thing we've done for months. And then you do something with Dax Harwood at the end of the match where he didn't want to help Cope up, and he just walked away frustrated.
And then he got mad
do
at Cash.
Do that in the match.
Yeah, but then him and Cash wouldn't talk, and I was like, you can't break up the soulmates.
No.
You can't do that. I'm not even the biggest fan of FTR, but you can't break up their soulmates.
No, they're as close as Heath Slater and his kids.
Yeah.
But why couldn't you have done that? You could have teased that somewhere else. I don't know how you work it in the match right now, but just do something different. Swerve is set to face Moxley at Dynasty. How's the Swerve match going to end? I bet you could tell me.
Moxley's going to end. Or Moxley's going to win. With his people.
Yeah, exactly. And, you've got Will Ospreay on the horizon. Swerve and Ospreay have already fought, so I doubt Swerve's fighting Ospreay again, so it kind of makes Dynasty pointless. It's just, let's give Jon Moxley this to do till all in. Clearly, Will Ospreay's one of the people tapped to end this reign. I've heard Ospreay, I've heard Darby Allin has been tapped to end it.
Darby Allin is literally on a mountain, isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't he? Is he even still alive?
I don't know. MJF said he's dead on a mountain somewhere.
That could legit. That's a 90% chance of happening in my head. Is it that high? Because in my head, it's a 90% chance.
I don't think it is any. I don't think it is anymore.
It's 80% chance he's going to die on that mountain now.
I think it's 10.
10% chance.
I don't know. I haven't seen the numbers lately.
Hey Siri.
Another live fact check here.
How likely are you to die while climbing Mount Everest? It didn't tell me at all. It just said, how long can you fall from Mount Everest?
Darby will jump off of Mount Everest. He'll skateboard off of it.
The death rate's only 1%.
See?
1 in 100 climbers who attempt to climb above base camp die.
There you go.
With most deaths occurring during descent.
Okay.
Well, at least Darby Allin has an up on people. He's used to falling from high places.
Yeah, that's very true. He'll fall down like a 20-foot cliff. They'll be like, "Oh my god!" He'll be like, "I'm okay."
I legit thought that he had a 90% chance of dying. I thought he was going on a suicide mission. I was like, "Why are you doing?" That's why I could not understand why he was so adamant to do this.
No, I think it's just a bucket list item. I get it.
Gosh.
We all have bucket list items. My bucket list item is to drive an '89 Batmobile. I'm sure you have your bucket list.
Yeah, I have a simple one. I just want to freaking go to Nashville.
Yeah, that's your whole thing. But yeah, AEW with your pay-per-views, the matches are good, but we got to do something here. And Sundays ain't it. Stick to Saturdays.
And the 10 matches, in your words, ain't it.
Yeah, Saturday pay-per-view. I love Saturday pay-per-views because you can watch it, you don't have to work the next day, and you have time to digest it.
WWE has me spoiled with their, 4 or 5 matches.
4 or 5 matches. It starts at 7. It's on a Saturday. They're out of there by 10:30.
It is the best pay-per-view format, or premium live event format I've ever seen in my freaking life.
Yeah.
I...
Just get the shows out of Saudi Arabia and it'll be perfect.
Oh, yeah, because we don't watch those.
No, and they got the Royal Rumble next year, which bites.
That does.
Absolutely
I'm sorry.
bites.
I know what you're doing, WWE. You're taking something that's one of your most popular pay-per-views and putting it there because you think that people will cave and watch it. Newsflash. Social Worker is not doing it.
I know. I hate that I miss the Royal Rumble next year.
Do that. I would feel so icky supporting anything. I can't.
Yeah, they don't need one of your big 4 shows. Just stick with...
Give them shows that Pittsburgh would get.
Why? And then they won't come to Pittsburgh.
Well, at least we wouldn't. It's not like we missed, but Backlash and...
Backlash they've been doing internationally here lately.
Well, exactly.
Speaking of international, the Brussels crowd freaking brought it with the Cena reaction on Monday. Brussels played it perfectly. Kudos to you,
that
Brussels.
one child that was pointed out by John Cena was... I will say I loved when little kids get picked on in wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know what that says about me, but I get so much joy from it. And whenever that kid, because he had a John Cena shirt on, and whenever John Cena caught him out, he just looked so...
He's like, what?
I know. It was hilarious.
What's even funnier...
It's like whenever WWE sends us, lets us watch the kids crying videos. Those are hilarious. I love to see the kids crying. And it's always because of Cody Rhodes related or something. I'm surprised they didn't have some for John Cena.
They did.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because there was a kid that was hugging his mom's leg and he was crying. He was like, I hate John Cena.
I think that was outside or something.
They're out there. They're out there. WWE showed a couple of them.
Oh, man, I think I was taking the dog outside during that. But
there's this, I like those reactions, but at the same time I worry it's going to open the door for people to, overreact and try to get focused. Because everybody wants their 15 minutes.
Oh, well, I thought you were going to say about parents complaining.
No.
This is my thing. If parents complain, I feel like WWE should just release a statement and be like, if you don't feel like it's appropriate, don't let your children watch.
Yeah.
Let's not cater to the 5-year-olds that you don't want to be around curse words and everything else. I don't give a crap about them. Let me enjoy this. This is for me, not for your 5 or 6-year-old child. Maybe wrestling should be more for children, but I don't give a shit. I want to enjoy it in my 30s, and you better make it to where I enjoy it.
So basically what you need is AEW's edgy content on WWE's pay-per-view schedule so you can have the best of both worlds.
I mean, I feel like WWE's gotten edgier, though, since the Netflix...
Cody dropped the F-bomb!
So, I'm okay with WWE's edgy. Now, hardcore matches, no. I'm not okay with those. But we gotta have something there, guys. We can't just have a table spot and, yep, that's hardcore. So...
I don't know. I feel like the AEW is the king of the hardcore matches, especially their women.
I will never stop talking about how good that Mariah May and Toni Storm hardcore match was. That
Hollywood
ending match, that was so good.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
I loved every second of that. And I don't know what it is. Whenever the men bleed, I can't watch it. But when the women bleed, I get so into it. I get so excited. And it's like, take that, people that say women aren't tough. Take that, who say women shouldn't bleed. Take that.
I mean, Mariah May and Toni Storm were literally covering their fists that broke a glass to punch each other.
Yes. So I'm
it's
sorry.
such a ludicrous thing.
So I'm sorry. Women can't do that? Okay. Okay. I feel like the men, and maybe the women that say that, the men, are you scared, bro? Are you scared that women might be tougher than you? And for the women, who scared you? Why can't women be tough too? Who told you that we can't be? So that's...
Yeah.
I guess I want to do an in-depth study on the people to figure out why they think the way they think. And I've learned if you ask 5 whys, you get to the truth. So,
okay.
I'm going to find... I need to find your friend.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to ask him 5 whys to find out why he's so hateful about wrestling.
Okay. All right. We'll have to see how this plays out. To be continued on the results of that study. Next week, you'll have to reveal what your 5 questions will be.
What?
I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Speaking of next week, that's going to wrap up today's podcast. Speaking of next week, we will be taking next week off. We're doing a stress relief day, and part of the inspiration was Zarya and Solruta. We are going to go get massages in the morning, and then we're going to go to
I'm not getting a massage. I'm getting a facial.
Well, yeah. And then we're going to go to a smash room and break shit for an hour. So. And
the past 3 months have been so stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Work, and I guess personal life as well, but I am so excited.
Yeah.
To break things and get out stress.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. For sure. So there won't be a podcast next week. Things coming on the horizon. AEW Dynasty is April 6th. WrestleMania is April 19th to the 20th. So excited for WrestleMania. So far we got Owens and Orton, Cody and Cena, Roman, Rollins, and Punk, which a lot of people crapped on at first, but I think it's going to be really fun.
I think if I have to get CM Punk in a WrestleMania match, right? match, I'd rather it be a 3-way so I don't have to focus on him as much.
Yeah. And here's the fun part about that match is over the next few weeks, I'm not going to be watching the 3 of them. I'm going to be watching Paul Heyman. I'm going to be looking to see what Paul Heyman does.
Yeah, because Punk said that the reason that he's there is because Heyman served Roman on a platter.
Yeah. So I love that Paul Heyman is going to be just as important a part of this story. That's what I'm going to be looking forward to.
Yeah.
And Heyman never disappoints. No. Heyman's facial expressions are fantastic. He's a great talker.
Like, for any of those that watch The Traitors, because I know my husband refuses to, his facial expressions are like Carolyn from this season, because her facial expressions are all over the place too. So,
yeah,
if you would ever watch it with me, I think you would love it. It's an Emmy-winning show. It has Alan Cummings in it. Alan Cumming.
Just no S.
Alan Cumming in it.
Anyway.
Did you just hear what I said? It has Alan Cumming in it.
Yeah, I heard you. We've also got Bianca, Io, probably Rhea Ripley, which is fine. Rhea Ripley's not wrestling Liv Morgan, so I'll take it. So yeah, I think WrestleMania would be really fun, and we've built half a card, so we'll see what they come up with. But we will talk to you guys in 2 weeks. Don't forget to like the video, comment on any of the things that we talked about today, any topics you want us to cover in future episodes. Make sure when you do subscribe, you click that notification bell so you get informed about our videos. I do know YouTube's behind on that because I follow our channel, and we'll post a video on Sunday morning, and YouTube will tell me on Tuesday afternoon that it's been posted. So check back with the channel for sure. But typically we upload our videos on either Sunday or Monday. The time of the day just depends. We're adults that have shit going on. We get it uploaded when we get it uploaded.
And shout out to the listener last week that commented on our page. We appreciate that. We like the feedback. We like your opinions. We like if they're different than ours. We like those things. Yeah. So keep them coming.
Yeah. Despite the personality that Susan's built on here, it is okay to disagree with her.
I'm just cranky today.
Every day, especially when it comes to Punk or Logan Paul or anybody like that. But we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Find wrestling that you like, enjoy it, eat it up. When wrestling's cooking, there's nothing like it on the planet. Absolutely love it. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.
Or 2 weeks.
Oh, later.